everyone. Thanks for joining the second episode of IoT Connect series, jointly organized by SingX Exhibitions Private Limited and the Singapore Industrial Automation Association, SIAA. I'm Edric, and I'm very honored to be your host for today's IoT web engagement session. Just a couple of house rules to go over before we officially begin. Have a great time. That's the first one, of course. Secondly, raise your hand if you have a question, or you could type it inside the Q&A tab, which would be on that side. And feel free to use the chat as well. It's meant to be an interactive session. So do me a favor for those who are here right now. Could you please test it out with me? Raise your hand if you would like our webinars to come with free lunch or coffee delivered to your home or office. Oh, you guys are fast. I'm guessing you all are mainly Singaporeans, right? All right. And okay, now I'm going to test out the chat function, okay? Which do you prefer, black coffee or white coffee? Let's take a look at the chat. White. Thank you, Gibson. Thank you, Terrence. Raya, ECO, Civic, thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Rachel. White, please. Frida Tan, sure thing. Thanks, Frida. Daryl, all right. Brian Allen, T, okay. Are you British? That's great. No, haha. All right, cool. All right. Now this is perfectly working. Thanks. You guys are all rock stars. Thanks so much. Now, before we kick things off with the second episode of IoT Connect series, I'd like to kick things off a little bit more by sharing a bit more of our plans of IoT Asia Plus 2021. So, as you know, 2020 has been a year of major changes, right? And major challenges, in fact. But in this time, IoT has become more apparent, right? With major shifts in businesses and even personal living habits. This presents a very unique opportunity, and this is the time to connect, converge, and collaborate to enable the co-creation of solutions for real-world business transformation. IoT Asia Plus, right, marks a new chapter and brings a new set of offerings to you. IoT Asia Plus is a brand new hybrid experience based upon a virtual platform for content and networking, coupled with physical opportunities. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, this is not going to be a one-off engagement. In fact, this is going to be a year-long engagement. We've got web engagement sessions like the one you're attending right now. We're covering mainly different segments every quarter. And plus, we're also going to be having off-site visits and showcases and even demos where we can also conduct these web engagement sessions and record them there. Plus networking, we're bringing business to you. So this is, again, going to be a year-long engagement, and we look forward to having you there too. If you'd be interested, feel free to just reach out to us. My contact details are there. And okay, enough from me. Let's kick things off by hearing from you. Let's roll out the first poll, please. Which of the following did you not know is true? Oh, wrong. Sorry, that's not it. Sorry, the question is actually typed wrongly. It's actually, which one do you think is going to be showing the greatest improvement or access, right, in the next 2 to 3 years? Smart city, retail, healthcare, or IoT? I'll just say that again. Which one is going to have the greatest demand in the next 2 to 3 years in Asia? Smart city, retail, healthcare, or IoT? All right, while we're waiting for everybody to finish, we're halfway there. I'm happy to share that we have an interchange community platform where you can pose questions, comments, and interact with like-minded professionals like yourselves after this session and beyond. If you're keen to join, the link is going to be in the interchange as well as in the chat forum. That's going to be on that side. And we're going to share that link with you via email after this session. So there's always an opportunity to join. And we are done with the polls. Shall we share the results, please? Seems like majority is showing smart city. This is quite interesting. Followed by IoT. Healthcare is a close runner-up too. Retail, on the other hand, okay, very interesting. All right, we'll take note of that for sure. All right. Thanks so much for being a great audience, coming back to us so quickly. And without further ado, I would like to introduce you to our first speaker. Let's get things going. Miss Fanny C, COO and co-founder of Detrack. Detrack is a market-leading delivery tracking B2B SaaS that enables providers to allow their customers to track deliveries in real time. Fanny has led Fanny has led Detrack to be featured in the Business Times, APAC CIO magazine, E27, Tech in Asia, and has since clinched multiple awards both locally and overseas. Fanny, over to you, please. Okay, so it's a quote of the year. You're on mute. That is,
all right, okay.
That is 2020's quote of the year. Yes, we can.
Yeah, you're right about that, definitely. Thanks, Hendrik, for the introduction. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending this webinar. So today, I'll be sharing about some of the challenges businesses face in this last mile during COVID-19 and beyond. And I'll be using some case studies to illustrate how Detrack solution has helped these companies to overcome these challenges. All right, can I ready to start my presentation? Yes, thank you. Okay, right, can we move on to the next slide? Before I begin, I actually want this whole presentation to be a little bit more lighthearted. So I would like all of us to watch this quick 1-minute video. So video, please. All right. This video was actually made in-house by my colleague. So jokes aside, I hope you had a good laugh about that. COVID-19 has indeed changed many things and changed how logistics has been always functioning. And this period of uncertainty has brought about significant new challenges to the last mile. For instance, the push for businesses to start going online, where they have to handle deliveries instead of what they're used to, a physical retail experience. And there's also this immediate race against time to scale up the last mile operation. And finally, the need to meet the rising customer expectations, one of which is safe deliveries. Next slide. I'm sure all of you will agree that COVID-19 has increased the speed and pace of digitalization for businesses. And Detrack, as a ready to implement cloud route optimization and delivery tracking solution, we have actually seen 100% increment in the number of new companies who have onboarded our solution during this period. So before I go on to talk a bit more about the challenges, so what exactly is Detrack? So allow me a couple of quick minutes to share with you what our solution is about. So Detrack is a last mile vehicle tracking and real-time electronic proof of delivery solution that was launched globally in 2014, based out of sunny Singapore. And to date, more than 15 million deliveries have been completed using our platform, with more than 177 million proof being captured. So Detrack is a cloud-based SaaS. It offers a very lightweight mobile available on both iOS and Android driver application to automate customer communications with real-time updates, providing an unrivaled visibility to both you and your customers. All right, next. Detrack has another product, ElasticRoute, which I'll also be sharing a little bit about. It is a vehicle routing problem solution that is integrated with the Detrack EPOD that I was mentioned earlier. And what it does is that it automates the planning and route optimization for your entire fleet by planning according to constraints like time slot, warehouse location, vehicle load, special vehicle type required, loading time, etc. It geocodes addresses and plans using a proprietary hybrid heuristics algorithm to ensure routes produced are clustering naturally, and users have feedback a 25% increase in deliveries per hour using ElasticRoute, and also a 10% reduction in resource usage. All right, next slide, please. So the Detrack ETOD, together with ElasticRoute, provides a platform where real-time data at the last mile is being captured and output to benefit all stakeholders. Starting from the top left, ElasticRoute optimizes the routes and dispatch them into Detrack systems, where all the drivers will be connected via their driver app to continuously send their real-time location as well as the real-time status updates of all the deliveries back into our cloud service, which in turn disseminate this information to all the stakeholders involved, including, of course, the admin operators, as well as the customers, the end recipients, and almost whoever who needs access to this real-time data. Next slide, please. All right, now with the onset of COVID-19, brick and mortar retailers find themselves in this new position of having to quickly transform and move to an online, a virtual shopping experience where they now have to deal with this last mile deliveries, which they are unfamiliar with. Many retailers and distributors, they have their own fleet and they are well equipped to handle the first mile. However, with their e-commerce presence now, they find themselves not so well equipped to handle B2C home deliveries. So with this challenge in mind, let me move on to a relevant case study that I will share with you in the next slide. So to ensure the privacy of my customers, I'll actually omit the company names for my use of case study. So first case study I'm going to talk about is a local fruits distributor with presence in Asia. And they have been in business for more than 30 years. So they manage their own first mile, and their main business is to supply fresh fruits to retailers, restaurants, and manufacturers. And with the start of the circuit breaker in Singapore, they were very fast to react by setting up an e-commerce front to sell direct to consumers, which are now staying at home. However, they lack a system that they can use to handle the last mile deliveries, which they are not familiar with. They found Detrack and onboarded Detrack, and within 2 weeks, they were able to gain full control over their last mile by using both ElasticRoute to plan and optimize the routes for their drivers, and also using Detrack's EPOD system to manage the last mile delivery, starting from the essentials like printing or shipping labels to dispatching jobs to the drivers via the driver app, and to send timely pre-delivery notifications to the customers, and finally collect the electronic proof of deliveries and live update status to be fed back to their e-commerce store to inform the customers as well. So within weeks, they shared the happy news with us that they found themselves selling out on their e-store with happy customers returning to them. All right, can I move on to the next slide? Okay, the next challenge I'm going to talk about is the race against time. COVID-19 has happened suddenly, without warning. And with it, the magnitude and the spread of the pandemic has definitely spurred on demand for home deliveries. So 3PLs, third-party logistic players who are usually handling the majority of last mile deliveries, now find themselves with this tremendous business opportunity on hand. However, they lack the ability to cope with such a tremendous increase in volume, and also they have this huge strain on their current infrastructure, and they also find themselves lacking in the agility to cope with the demand that is present in front of them. So with this, I move on to the next slide, where I will talk about a case study of a local last mile 3PL. This company is actually an MNC with presence in more than 15 countries, but I will just focus on their local operation for the last mile. So they see the opportunities available in the last mile, and of course, they wanted to capitalize on it. However, given the current systems that they have, they are unable to scale up quickly enough. And also at the same time, they do not have the capabilities to serve the e-commerce vendors. So with these challenges in mind, they implemented Detrack. Within the period of just 3 months, they managed to become one of the largest e-commerce players in Singapore, delivery logistic player in Singapore, with more than 400 vehicles on their fleet. So Detrack offered them an immediate time to market solution. And of course, using features like tap to track. Tap to track is actually a unique feature where Detrack offers the live tracking experience, like you can track your Grab into the world of last mile deliveries, where end recipient will be able to look at when the delivery is coming right from the convenience of their mobile phone and track them on route with the ETA countdown. So with these features, and besides this feature, Detrack also offers this third-party logistic player the capability to automate the updating of hundreds and thousands of delivery that they are doing today for the status into all their vendors that have actually given or outsourced the deliveries to them. And using the common platform of Detrack, they were also able to manage their fleet very effectively, even including their outsourced fleet, providing a very high standard of service to the e-commerce retailers they serve. And the happy news we heard from them from 11/11 is that they are going to up their fleet up to 600 vehicles coming from the next 2 months because of the wonderful results that they have been getting from their e-commerce vendors that are using them. So they managed to onboard even more e-commerce vendors onto their platform as well. So we are looking forward to support them in the upcoming month. All right, I'm going to move on to the third challenge that is, I think, familiar to all, meeting customers' rising expectation. Customers now want to have full visibility in the tracking of their deliveries. Seeing their status update of like a static update being in a warehouse and then prepared for delivery no longer satisfy them. They will want to have real-time updates, and they want to be able to involve in the whole of the last mile delivery process, where they will be able to have a very predictable schedule of when the delivery is coming to them. They want a smooth, yet fast, free, and even better, cheap and even better free delivery service. And lastly, they also have a new expectation that arises during this COVID period, and that is safe deliveries. However, they do take issue with the common way safe deliveries is being conducted now, where to many vendors, idea of contactless deliveries means to actually put the parcel at the doorstep and leave it there. However, this gives rise to many problems, for example, pouch theft, and also the goods being damaged, especially we talk about goods that are fragile, goods that are perishable, and because there's no timely collection or timely notification to the recipient that the goods are ready at their doorstep. So with this challenge in mind, I'm going to move on to the next slide when I'm going to share the last case study for today, where we have a cold chain courier who specializes in delivering groceries. So during COVID-19, they faced the happy problem of having a huge spike in the volume. But with it, they have the problem of being able to automate the workflow to inform all the customers in real time when the deliveries are going to reach them and when the drivers are en route. So customers are also fearful of touching the driver's phone. As you can see from the video earlier, they are rejecting to sign on glass or even on a paper DO because we all know that the COVID-19 virus could actually stay active on the screen for that many hours. So with these challenges in mind, they implemented Detrack, and with the help of our systems, they managed to design a very effective last mile delivery experience from the sending of a first a pre-delivery text to inform customer that, oh, you have a delivery schedule today, and right down to an on-route delivery text where the customer will be able to go onto just a URL from his or her phone and be able to track the driver that's en route with the ETA countdown. And lastly, they were using our latest feature that we have released, and that is the contactless delivery with remote signature capture. So what is this remote signature capture all about? As I mentioned earlier, contactless delivery of just leaving the parcel or the goods at the doorstep is not a very good workflow to both the customers as well as the retailer, as the goods may get damaged or the goods may get stolen. It results in a very unhappy experience, which the vendor is at a loss, and so is the customer. So given this dynamics of contactless delivery and how it's being conducted, Detrack actually rolled out a new feature called capturing of remote signature. So instead of the driver offering his or her phone for the recipient to sign, the recipient will be able to sign from his or her own phone. And this signature will then go into the server and be used as a proof of delivery that this delivery was accepted. So there's no touching of phones, no coming of contact, and this is what we define as a safe delivery with accountability. All right. And with this new workflow that this coaching courier has implemented, they have managed to secure the delivery contact of several large grocery players in their country. So that was something they shared with us, and they were really, at the last we heard from them, they were really excited to onboard one of the largest grocery retailer from their country. Okay, can I move on to my next slide? Thank you. All right, at this point, it may be still too early to have a very clear definition of what the new normal is going to be about. But what is certain is that the need for companies to digitalize and also the regional demand for deliveries will definitely continue to thrive. So take, for example, it is estimated that online groceries in Asia alone will grow to a market size of US $295 billion, a 198% increase. So there are certainly opportunities aplenty in the last mile for all businesses to capitalize on during this period of the COVID-19. So with this, I'm going to end my presentation, and I'll hand this time over to Edric.
All right, thanks a lot, Fanny. It's very, very insightful. I'm very excited to also hear maybe perhaps what ideas other people might have, in the audience about the lateral application of contactless signatures. Now, this is going to be a very interesting thing.